We're going to lead off this hour with major new developments in the war between Israel and Hamas. An overnight hostage rescue has Israeli leaders vowing to keep up the ground assault into Rafah. These are images from a video journalist hired by CBC News. It shows wounded at Kuwait Hospital in Rafah. Israel's military says the bombardment was part of a wider military operation in support of the hostage rescue. Officials with the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry say more than 60 people were killed and dozens more wounded. Israeli leaders are pushing ahead with the assault into Rafah. That's a place where more than 1 million Palestinians have been pushed by Israel amid the ongoing fighting, with key allies like U.S. President Joe Biden urging caution. Now, this is new video just into us from the Israeli military, showing the hostages being reunited with their families. That's 70-year-old Norberto Luis R. in black, and you see 60-year-old Fernando Simon Marman in the gray hoodie hugging him. Both men are from the same kibbutz and were abducted by Hamas in the October 7th attack. Abby Kugathasan leads off our coverage today, beginning, Abby, with the hostage rescue. What are we hearing now from the Israeli military about the operation to get those two men?
Heather, the IDF says the two hostages, were rescued from a second-floor building in Rafah. It was part of a raid which involved the army as well as special forces, and airstrikes hit surrounding areas as part of the operation. They say, as you say, more than 60 people have been killed in those Israeli airstrikes, and the two hostages who've been rescued were both taken from the same kibbutz on October the 7th. Now, officials say they are in good medical condition, and Luis R's son-in-law says the family saw him in the hospital, just like the footage you just showed. Here's what he had to say about the reunion.
A lot of tears, hugs, not many words. Just being together, surrounded by the family and surrounded by our beloved people that were without us for so long, more than 4 months. We were so happy to see them. Please be serious and strike a deal. The Israeli people needs the deal done. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, today.
Now, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has posted on social media this morning, writing, "Fernando and Luis, welcome home." He credited the soldiers who were involved in freeing the two hostages. And he also wrote, "Only the continuation of military pressure until complete victory will result in the release of all our abductees." Now, back in November, 78 Israelis were freed as part of a deal with Hamas. And now 3 hostages have been freed by military means since October 7th. And Israel believes that about 130 hostages remain in Gaza, acknowledging in recent days that a fifth of them, Heather, may be dead.
The U.S., Abby, is urging caution. I mentioned U.S. President Joe Biden. Caution as the Israeli military pushes further and further south into Rafah. What is happening there today?
Yeah, reportedly for the first time in 3 weeks, Netanyahu spoke with Joe Biden on the phone. That was yesterday. Biden urging Netanyahu not to launch a full military operation that includes ground troops in Rafah without a credible plan to ensure the safety of Palestinian civilians. Israel is now calling on UN relief agencies to help evacuate civilians. A spokesperson saying, "Don't say it can't be done." But the question is, where? The EU's top diplomat, Joseph Borrell, said there is nowhere for them to go, nowhere for Palestinians to go. And we know Canada has expressed concern in recent days about the safety of Palestinians as well. Now, inside Rafah, these are some of the new images that we have from a hospital showing chaotic scenes, overwhelmed with the injured and those who've been killed. Again, about 1.4 million Palestinians in Rafah. Here's one little girl talking about a strike that hit her home from the hospital.
احنا كان الفصل شغال كنا فطرنا بعدين انا حكيت لماما صحيتها كانت صاحيه قلت لها بدي اروح على الحمام حكت لي روحي فجاه بلاقي كل الحيطان الحمام وقعت فوقيها وكل البراميل فوقيها.
We also have new footage of a mosque that was hit overnight. And it is worth mentioning, Heather, here in the UK, the Foreign Office received a letter from about 30 organizations, including legal groups in recent days, calling on London to support the orders made by the ICJ last month and suspend its supply of arms to Israel. And today, a Dutch court has ordered the government there to stop exporting F-35 fighter jet parts to Israel over concerns the parts are being used to violate international law.
Abby, thank you very much. Abby Kugathasan.